an all-in-one tank for a change. That's cool. Stop and get a look at Livestock. Okay, so we have a dory, we have a small dory in an all-in-one. There's some people that say, hey, I'm going to rehome it once it gets bigger. The question is, where are you going to rehome it? Are you giving it a good home? I would personally like to see that a bigger tank for the hippo. That's how I like to see him. Give him more swimming room. Looks happy now, but they grow up fast, and hopefully no one takes better care of your fish than you do. We've got a clownfish here as well. The first thing that's jumping out at me besides the fish, loving all the motion in here. We have that done with some hard corals with the LPS. We've got some softies in here as well. We've got some zoas. The motion is catching my eye. I like to see that in a reef, and it's got some good stuff going on. We've got some LED lighting here, and I'm also noticing there's not, from what I can tell, any power heads in the tank. With a small tank like this, that's not as important. You're going to get a fair amount of flow. Oh, here we go. There's a gyre hanging behind the back. Nice application of the gyre, vertical behind the rockwork. Give yourself some spin in the tank. Given that this is a mixed reef tank, given that it looks like it's having a fair amount of success, I would put another gyre on the other side. If you're going to stick with the gyres, that way you can create alternating flow patterns as opposed to it just coming around one direction. That tank is definitely off to a good start though. Looks nice and clean, nice small footprint over in the corner of the house, adding something to the room. And look at that, we've got some GSP growing on the back wall. I probably put some magnet rock there and then the GSP is on it. I'm assuming this reefer wants it to grow all over the back wall. I think that's the next trend in reefing. Instead of these live walls you see in big commercial buildings, it's GSP walls in reef tanks. All right, so we have an all-in-one tank here. Notice there's no skimmer here. There may be bags of media in here as well. This is a very simple setup. That's doing really well. You don't have to have all the bells and whistles to have a successful reef. It certainly helps you, but this person is getting it done. I'm curious to see what kind of water change schedule they're on, if that's helping with their water quality, but it looks very simple in the back of this tank. I have it snugged up to the back of the wall as well to help keep that footprint down. I'm not even sure if there's a heater in, it looks like there's one there in the center of the back chamber. Curious to see what, if anything, is underneath this reef. Probably storage for chemicals and stuff. Even got a bubble tip in there, adding to the motion as well, as I talked about at the beginning of the show. Lots of motion in this reef. Really starting to dig that more and more with my reefs. It's having more motion in there. Sure, the sticks are great. Nothing wrong with them. And I like seeing lots of motion done with fish and done with corals. Leathers, bubble tips, LPS, any SPS here? Curious, this person may not be a stickhead, but this tank looks like it's doing well. I'd be curious to put some in there and see what happens. Got a nice little mix of fish. We've got a dwarf angel in here. Oh, we've got all kinds of real estate up here on the top. Let's put some sticks there and see what happens. Why not? Not going to hurt anything. If they don't work out, you can put in some more LPS. All right, here we go. Now we're going to get a look underneath. Oh, look at this. All the storage. Looks like we've got some pump controllers here underneath. Where's the top off? Looks like heater control as well. Like this redundancy, and it looks like, go down just a little bit, go there. It looks like it's a UPS, interruptible power supply, acting as a little bit of a battery backup for this tank. Curious on how long that will run. Given there's not a lot on the tank, especially if you take away the lights, you might get some good mileage out of that, considering the return pump on an all-in-one is really not that big. But here's a nice tank that looks good, small footprint, minimal gear, but getting the job done. I would try some sticks just to see how they do. If that's not your thing, let's get some other corals up top there and use that available real estate, because right now everything's looking good. Let's put some more stuff in there and see how that does as well. Overall though, digging the mixed reef, digging the fish. What a nice little all-in-one compact setup that a couple tweaks in here and really be an absolute eye catcher more than it already is.